Am I crazy? Well, I suppose that depends who you ask. Years and years and years and years ago, I used to work in a big state mental hospital, back when they had big state mental hospitals. For 2 years, I was a psychiatric aide at Damish State Hospital in Wilsonville. I actually was one of the last of the little men in the white coats as they switched over to civilian clothes during the time I was a psychiatric aide. When I worked there, they had a battery of tests that they gave people when they came in to see if they were crazy or not, or if they were so crazy that they had to be locked up. And this battery of tests, I think, is still used today because that one Sunday when they whisked Trump off to Bethesda for a battery of tests, he was describing the tests and they sounded exactly like the same thing that they used to give at Damish back in the 70s. So anyway, when they get people in there to determine if they're crazy or not, they ask a series of questions to determine their orientation as for time and place and so on. They ask them, like, if they know where they are and if they know why they're here and stuff like that. And then they ask you to perform some simple exercises, and they start out really easy, like the alphabet, and they show pictures of some animals and ask you to identify, and they're like elephants and giraffes and stuff, and they ask you a little bit about current events and if you know what the time of year is and that kind of stuff. Anyhow, the questions get a little bit harder, but the big question at the end isn't really a question, it's an exercise, and it's called the Serial Sevens. And what they tell these people is like, okay, this isn't really a math test, but it's a problem-solving exercise. And they ask these people, if they get to this point, if they could count backwards from 100 by sevens. And this is like the $1,000,000 question. You get to go home, usually, if you could pull this one off, if you even get to this point. But anyhow, to make sure I'm not crazy, I could count backwards from 100 by sevens. 93, 86, 79, 72, 65, 58, 51, 44, 30, 7, 30, 23, 16, 9, 2. I'm not crazy.